They said my grass was too long. Then came the fines. Then court. Then jail. I spent 2 nights in a cell over lawn height. When I got home, I found a foreclosure notice taped to my door. All because I wouldn't cave to their HOA lawn obsession. But here's what they didn't count on. I recorded every shady hearing, every abusive letter, and every dollar they couldn't account for. If they want to take my home, they better be ready to lose their entire HOA charter in court. This time, I'm not trimming the lawn asterisk, I'm cutting the roots of their power. I never lawn asterisk, I'm Q-toots of their power. I never thought I'd end up in handcuffs over grass. But that's exactly what happened. Asterisk, it started simple, too simple. A letter taped to my mailbox. Lawn exceeds acceptable HOA height. 3 inches max. Asterisk, I measured it. 3.25 inches. It had rained for 3 days straight. I figured they'd chill. They didn't. The next letter came with a fine. $150. Then another, and another. Asterisk, I called. No answer. I emailed. No reply. I showed up at the HOA office. Locked. By the end of the month, I was $750 deep in lawn violations. And guess what? The grass hadn't grown since the first notice. Asterisk, then came the court summons. Not a friendly mediation, a hearing in front of a private HOA arbitration panel. No legal power, just puffed up volunteers with power complexes. Asterisk, I showed up anyway, evidence in hand. Photos, dates, my lawnmower receipts, they barely looked at it. You've demonstrated a pattern of noncompliance. The chairwoman Karen, of course, said, flipping through her binder like she was sentencing me at The Hague. Asterisk, I laughed. That was a mistake. Asterisk, you find this funny, she snapped. Asterisk, I find it absurd. Asterisk, a week later, 2 sheriff's deputies showed up at my door with an arrest warrant. Asterisk, failure to comply with Civil Code 42B. Ordered detainment for contempt of HOA arbitration. Asterisk, are you serious? Asterisk, they were. I spent 48 hours in county jail over grass. When I got out, my neighbor Steve handed me a manila envelope. They taped this to your door. Foreclosure notice, not from a bank, from the HOA apparently. Buried in the fine print of the HOA contract, the one the previous owner signed, was a clause that allowed property seizure proceedings for delinquent assessments. They were foreclosing on my home over lawn fines. I never even had a chance to dispute fairly. That night, I poured a glass of whiskey, flipped open my laptop, and created 3 folders. HOA abuse, financial trails. Karen Watch war had officially begun. I wasn't just going to fight them, I was going to expose them. Asterisk, first thing I did, FOIA request to the city. I needed to know how deep this went. Asterisk, turns out, HOA Karen had filed over 200 grass-related violations in the last 18 months, half of them to the same 5 households. Ours had something in common. None of us attended HOA meetings, and all of us had pushed back, even slightly, on their authority. Asterisk, I met with the others. A retired vet, a single mom, a teacher. Asterisk, we shared letters, fines, threats. Then I dug deeper. I traced the fine money. It was supposed to go into a community improvement fund, but there were no audits, no records of spending, just deposits into a personal business account under the name KR Management Services. Guess who the K was? Karen. Her company was contracted by the HOA to manage finances. Conflict of interest? Try embezzlement. Asterisk, I took it all to a real lawyer this time. A bulldog named Monica Griggs, who hated HOAs more than I did. Asterisk, we're not just stopping the foreclosure, she said. We're nooking the entire operation. Asterisk, within a week, a judge issued an injunction on the foreclosure. The HOA could no longer collect fines from anyone until a full financial audit was completed. Asterisk, Karen tried to play the victim online. Asterisk, there, attacking the HOA's ability to function, she posted in the community group. Asterisk, then someone replied, with a photo of her Porsche. Asterisk, functioning very well. Apparently, when the media picked it up local first, then national, the HOA board crumbled. Karen resigned, fled to Arizona. Her Porsche was repoed 2 weeks later. Asterisk, and me. Asterisk, I got my house back. No fines. No foreclosure. Asterisk, and the best part. Asterisk, I replaced my lawn with native gravel and drought-resistant plants. Completely HOA approved now, thanks to the new board, which I proudly serve on. Asterisk, sometimes, when I walk past my mailbox, I look at the spot where they used to tape those violation letters and smile. Asterisk, jailed over grass. Sure, but now, asterisk, I mow them down with policy.